Hey everyone, and this is Johnny from JohnnyFT.com, and I have flown around the world business class for free using some of these cards, and this is even the best one yet. There's one coming in the mail right now that gives me 3% cash back, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys about. I'm going to show you some of the cards that I use, which ones I use as my primary everyday spending, the one I use in my business account when I'm working online as a digital nomad or as a location independent entrepreneur, what I use for my backup card, what you should use for travel. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 cards that every single traveling entrepreneur should have if you want to be able to fly for free like I have. So if you ever taken a look through my blog, I've been to a ton of places, from Italy to all around Europe, all around Asia. I'm actually in Chiang Mai, Thailand, as we speak right now. This is at one of the fountains in Italy, and I just flew from Rome back to Chiang Mai, business class on Thai Airways for completely free. Got to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, had some nice pizza and pasta. It's been a really amazing journey, and all of you guys can do the same, really without doing any extra work. The greatest thing about all these different credit cards is you can just do what you're gonna do anyways. You can run either like a dropshipping store like I have. You can do whatever your online business is, whether it's Amazon or freelancing, whatever it is. I've been here's some posts from me in Berlin, Germany, in Portugal, in Koh Lanta, this is one of the islands down in the southern Thailand. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Central America. I've been to all these places. You can take a look at that, at them there. But I just want to talk to you about the actual cards, all right? So the one I'm most excited about is going to be the new Zero Financial Card. There's lots of pros and cons about that. I'm going to go over that in a second, and I'm going to kind of read through the fine print for you because it's one of those things where I think a lot of people don't really understand exactly what you're getting. Before I get to that one, because that one's not actually out yet, I can't show that to you. I'm going to show you which cards I actually use day to day. So these 2 cards, this is the Capital One Venture card and the Barclay Arrival Plus card. These are going to be the best if you are running some kind of e-commerce business or anything that you're buying a lot of ads with online, because you get 2% cash back through what they call travel credit. And what I like about this is you don't have to mess around with miles or points. The problem with that is, in the ideal situation, if you spend hours and hours of your life, moving around points from one airline to another, you're looking for flight windows that they allow you to book, you do all this stuff, you might be able to get a business class flight or a first class flight for free with your miles. But to be honest, it is a complete waste of time. I've met and interviewed and even had consults with some of the top point gurus, like the million mile gurus out there. And here's the thing: is I am also technically a million mile club guru because I've been there. I have way more than 1 million miles. I've been flying, business class for free for years now, but I don't waste my time doing that. I'd rather spend that same amount of time building my businesses to have more money, to have more freedom, to actually have the time and money to spend on all these cool places like you see here, than spend it all reading, how to artificially churn spend and how to manufacture spending. I just spend because I'm making money online, and this is something that you guys can do as well. If you just look at my blog, JohnnyFT.com, I show you my income reports every single month where you can see exactly what I make the money from. So it's the top right corner. This is from September, August, July. Literally every single month, I just write down exactly what I've made and how I've made it. And this is the best way for you guys to be able to, I don't say manufacture, but have enough money going through these accounts where you can just get enough points where you can just redeem it for whatever business class flight you want to take. So what I like about these 2 cards in particular, even though these have a fee after the first year, I think they're about $89 a year, you get 2% back that you can just basically wipe off your statement. So if I want to book a flight from Chiang Mai back to, let's say, Los Angeles, what I do is I search, Chiang Mai Airport, LA, and I pick my favorite flight, regardless of the time, regardless of the airline, regardless of any of that. I just book whatever flight I want. And then up to 60 days later, whenever I feel like it, I log into my Barclay or my or my Capital One account, and I just erase that purchase. So it just erases that it's like I never have to pay it, right? Or you can get statement credit for it. It's basically just cash. Versus having one of these mile cards, you're gonna have to transfer that from one to another, and then you can only fly with certain airlines at certain times. It's such a pain in the butt. I don't recommend that to anyone, especially if you want to focus your time actually making money like I have. This is my profit from last month, and I guarantee I could not have done this if I had spent 4 hours a day trying to research or juggle all these cards. I only use 3 cards at a time. Right now I have one extra as a double backup because I'm starting a bunch of new businesses. But in general, 3 cards, that's what I recommend to you. So the pros and cons, I guess, of the Venture versus the Barclay. So you're going to want to use the Venture if you value customer service. The Capital One is way better than Barclay. There's no BS. They never call me. They never. It's just easy to use. You get super high credit limits. You get 2% back on everything. All purchases, doesn't matter where you purchase. Doesn't have to just be gas, or doesn't have to be just supermarkets or whatever it is. 2% back on everything, and it's technically only towards travel. But that could be a flight, hotel, really anything you want. So, don't worry about that. If you're not traveling, you should be anyways. So just save it up. You can save up 1,000,000 miles and then go on a business class flight to wherever you want. The reason why I use the Barclaycard, this one is my current, one I use to spend everything on. It's because they also give you 0.5% back when you redeem, which is basically, it makes it so instead of you making 2% cash back, you're making 2.05. So it's just extra money that you like. So the card that I would recommend as a backup would be the Capital One Quicksilver, because you get 1.5% cash back on all purchases, no matter what the whatever you're buying. There's no annual fee. There's really no reason not to have this card. The only card that may be technically better than this is the Citi Double Cash Card, which gives you 2% back. The downside to that is they charge you 3% whenever you use the card outside of the US. And if you are traveling like I do, you don't want to pay a 3% fee. That's stupid. So look for a card without a foreign transaction fee. The other problem with the Citi card, the double cashback card, is I've heard they give really low limits. So all these cards I have at least a $10,000 limit. If you want to run a real business, or you want to fly business class, you have to have a big limit. You want to have 10, 20, even $30,000 limits. The double cash back card, I've heard many people report they're getting a $3,000 limit, or I've never heard of anything higher than, let's say, $8,000. So it's almost not even worth applying for. And now let me show you what card I am most excited about. All right, so this is the Zero Financial card that is coming out. This is just going to be a first look at the terms and conditions and an explanation of how it works, because obviously it's not out yet, so we don't have the card yet. But as soon as this comes out, I'm gonna stop using my Barclay card and my Venture card, because this gives 3% back. And if you do the math, an extra percent is a lot of money. That could be an extra $100 a month in just rewards. And it's not even. And what's nice about Zero is it's just cash back too. So it's not even a travel credit reward. Now, here are going to be the kind of the downsides. If you guys want to check this out for yourself, I'll have a link below. That is my referral link, so you guys can get on the wait list of Zero. And then, but if you look at the actual terms, what it is you don't get 3% right away, all right? The way it works is they have tiers. You start out at 1% back, and then you go to 1.5, and then 2, and then to 3. And the way this works is based off of actual how much you spend. Here we go. So if you I read through everything on here before I started recommending it to my readers and to my friends and my family. So the way it works is if you spend $25,000, then you go to the next level, $50,000 to the middle level, which is 2%, and then you have to spend $100,000 to get to the 3% level. The kind of travel hack or the spending hack for this is going to be during this launch period, what you want to do is you want to refer 5 friends. And as long as they sign up for it, you are automatically up in carbon. And this should be very easy to do because who doesn't want 3% back? Number one. And it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't cost any money for the card. It's just a very, very cool card. So if you're going to sign up for it anyways, and this is something that you genuinely believe in, like I do, you should have no problem convincing 5 friends to sign up for it as well. And then you get to the top level, which is zero carbon. When I shared this just on my personal Facebook, I got like 10 people signed up right away. So as long as you have a good circle of friends and they trust you and you have a good, good reputation of only sharing good things, there's no reason why you can't get 5 or 10 signups, in the first day even, especially if you have, Facebook page, Twitter page, your friends through email, whatever it is. But what's cool is you get to the top level right away. And for the whole year, you're going to get 3% back. The very next year, we will figure out when that comes. I think it's one of those things where if I'm getting 3% cash back, it's really that good. The next year, I'll do whatever it takes to get to that threshold again. You don't have to spend 1 month in the graphite and then 1 month in the magnesium and then the 3rd month in carbon. If you somehow spent $100,000 next January, you would go straight in. But don't even worry about that for now, to be honest. It's one of those things where as long as you're on top, you can, you'll figure out a way to kind of stay up there. So what are the kind of the pro sides and downsides of it, right? The way it works is it's kind of like a debit card in a sense where you're not getting credit, right? So there's no credit limit because it just depends on how much money you have in the bank. It's kind of like a debit card. And the good thing about that is that way you're not going to go into debt. The bad thing about it is if you're running a big like dropshipping store like I am, and sometimes you're spending $30,000 a month, if you don't have that $30,000 in the bank, it's really hard for you to scale. So I have a friend right now who's spending $80,000 a month fulfilling orders for his dropshipping store, and he doesn't have $80,000 in just cash laying around. So he's not going to be able to take advantage of this because he just doesn't have that much cash liquid in the bank. The good news is there's always a solution, right? Like I told him, I was like, dude, if you can get an extra 1% back, I'll just loan you $80,000 and then split that at 1% with me, because I'll be happy to get an extra $500 a year just by having my money in one of these accounts. And if you don't have your parents or a close friend that can loan you this money to scale, don't put all of your spend on it. Just put your advertising spend on it, or just have one of your suppliers spend on it, whatever it is. Get that extra money, and that is how you're going to build your net worth. So you're going to able to have $100,000 in the bank like I do now, even though I started with $1,000 in my bank account just a few years ago. So you have to think this way. You can't think, oh, I don't have it, poor me. You got to think, oh, how can I do it? How can I get to that level? So what's also cool is they are going through a actual bank. So they themselves, Zero Financial, they're not a bank, but they go through an actual bank. So you get FDIC insurance, you get fraud protection, you get all of that. And there's no foreign transaction fees like there are on some of the credit cards. I've looked through all these terms. I encourage you to read it yourself as well. But from what I see, it's going to be a great card. So feel free to sign up, get on the wait list, because it's going to be, I think as this video has been recorded, about 30,000 people have signed up for the wait list. So I think if you wait longer, it's going to take you longer to get, obviously. So check it out. But in the meantime, if you don't have some type of rewards card, whether it's the Barclay Rival card, the Venture card, the Capital One Quicksilver card, you are missing out on a lot of money. So keep following my blog, johnnyfd.com, and I will see you hopefully out in Thailand. Bye-bye.